want to give that positive, like you just try, do whatever you want to do type of message.
Welcome to Journeys in Focus, where every path tells a story. I'm Brenden, your host, and together we'll explore the journeys that shape our lives and bring our world into focus. Adjust that focus, come along on the journey. Welcome back to another episode of Journeys in Focus. We're here today with Bree. It's a pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me.
Excited to talk your music journey that you're about to pursue in the next couple months. And really excited to see why that's the path that you're planning to go through right now. So to start off, why music? What does music really mean to you?
What does it mean to me? I would say music, I overthink almost everything. I'm a person who is really in my head. So I feel like whenever I sing, it kind of gives like a representation of kind of what's going on in my mind, and I get to express it through music. And I feel like music is something that's so calming, and so I feel like everyone listens to music. Most people listen to music at least, but I feel like it really lets me express myself more. And I've always loved singing and everything like that. So it definitely lets my creative side come out way more.
So being like that outlet that you spoke about, do you feel like you get to release that feeling that you may be in with your writing style, or how you will like speak a certain word when you're singing?
Yeah, I would say definitely I write my own music, so definitely with my writing style, I could definitely just sit down and listen to different beats and kind of feel out just how I'm feeling and just write it out. But it's definitely like an outlet that kind of helps me like escape when I'm feeling a little more like anxious and things like that. So
now, what would the kind of process be that you're kind of going through when it comes to whether writing your song to then going into the studio to record it? Does it take many times? Are you going through a lot of different takes through it when you're in the studio? Do you have lyrics set and you're in there and it's like, no, I don't like how this sounds now, and then you change it? Or do you do different versions at once?
I feel like it varies. Usually when it comes to when I go to the studio, I have kind of an idea. I usually have a few ideas when it comes to beats, and I already have kind of the lyrics set in place. But everything is subject to change. I work with a great engineer. His name is Mark, and we just I feel like we kind of vibe out together now, and we kind of like, we know each other's styles and things like that. So I always listen to his opinion of like, oh, let's change this, let's do this. And then, I don't know, I just like creating with different people and just hearing different people's outtakes and takes on just music and things like that, and definitely learning just every time.
Now, was it challenging to get into it right away? Did you know, like, what really made you set music? Like, that's what you woke up one day and it's like, I want to do this.
Well, I always sung. I always like knew from a young age that I could sing, just from every time I did sing, my friends were like, wait, that actually was good, and things like that. I didn't take it seriously until I think 2 years ago. I always wrote little things, went to like beats and things like that, and I showed it to one of my friends who raps. And then they were like, oh, that's actually pretty good. Like, let me take you to this. They introduced me to the studio. And then from there, like from the first time I went to the studio, I was like, wait, this is a fun process. I enjoy doing this. And it sounds pretty decently good. So I definitely, after that, I wanted to push music for sure.
Now, do you feel like having other artists hear your stuff when you get some idea in your head with whether it's that lyric or if you need help with a spin on a beat, do you feel like it's helpful to get the other artists' opinions on it to see if they notice something within the song?
To an extent, I usually have like a select people that I know that will give their honest opinion. But then again, you have to keep in mind that everyone has their own kind of music taste or their own kind of, like, everyone has a different opinion. So I've realized, like, the more people I show or the more people I tell, they'll keep telling me, like, oh, you need to do this, you need to change this. And then it ends up being like a cycle of me never moving because I keep trying to change everything.
To make it to how they
yeah,
like telling you to have it?
so usually, like, there is a few people whose opinion I like 100% like, oh, okay, I'll definitely change it and switch it. But when it comes to, you know, people's opinions, I feel like everyone has kind of so many opinions that you have to, you know, if you like it, I've come to realize, like, if I like the music, I feel like I just need to put it out there. So that's kind of how I feel about, you know, that at the moment.
So, like, in your writing process, are you working on one song at a time? Are you jumping back and forth between a couple different songs? Is it hard to stay fixated on one song if you are jumping back and forth?
I would say in the beginning, I would focus on one song. I'm a slight perfectionist when it comes to, like, anything. So when it came to working on my very first songs, I would be stuck on it and try to fix and try to be, like, very, you know, this is not good, we got to fix that. But I feel like now I'm getting a little more comfortable doing it. So now it's kind of like I could work on a few things at once. But in the beginning, I was very like, we can't move on until, like, this is perfect kind of thing. But now I still am a slight perfectionist. I'm still working on, like, the putting things out, even if it's not 100%. But I'm definitely I'm getting better at that.
Do you feel like, what was the biggest influence that really started the music part? Was, like, whether it was from a young age, in grade school, was it by the time you got to college? Like, what really started it?
What started it? Like I said, I've always been a person that has been, I feel like I always have ideas and creative things in my mind. And I felt like, you know, music, it's not only expressing, like, my emotions, but it also, say, like, you know, when I do different, I don't know, I'm trying to think of, like, how to explain. You said who, kind of, or like what?
Like,
kind
what,
of?
like, from the young age, grade school, college, like, was it a person? Was it just, like, you listened to a song back in the day and it was like, you know, I like this so much, why can't I do this? Was it, like, something like that?
I don't know if it was that. I think it was just more of, like, music was more of, like, a creative outlet for me, honestly. You know, whether it's what I'm filming a music video soon, but it's kind of fun. It's a fun process because I get to, like, put out my creative mind of what my songs are visually speaking about. So that's kind of been a fun process for me.
Do you feel like it's hard to tell a story within a song?
I don't know, because when I do write songs and things like that, I kind of picture myself, like, in that scenario.
Okay.
And I kind of want to tell a story and kind of want people to relate, or however, you know, they interpret the song. I want them to feel something out of the song.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It seems like on your Instagram, you have a very positive outlook on a lot of stuff. Especially within your posts that you've made, if they're a slide post and on a carousel, the last image on every post you have is some form of quote or uplifting message. Why have that at the end? What is giving you that motivation to put that there and give you that positivity? Are you looking to have somebody else maybe receive that same message that you ended up posting?
Yeah, I always want to put positivity out into the world. I feel like there needs to be more positivity out in the world. I always want to be, even I'm a very small artist at the moment, but I always want to give a good message of positivity, and I want people to feel motivated to do whatever they want to do, despite of what other people are telling you. And I want to give that message that really anyone is able to do anything, and you could switch any path, and you don't have to be stuck in something that you don't want to do, and you could try to do different things in life in general. And I always just want to give that positive, like, you just try, do whatever you want to do type of message to people.
It's kind of what we're doing here on the podcast now. Everyone we have come on is telling their story on what they're doing now or what they are having a love for at the moment, whether or not it may change in a year or 3 years or however long it is. But having everyone come on and speak their own journey is able to help other people recognize, hey, you know what I'm doing right now, what you may have just said is now going to spark the light for somebody else to be like, why do I care what people think of me? Why can't I sing? I feel like I could sing and go out and actually pursue it, because it doesn't hurt to try, and you never know what could happen, especially once you get going into it and you start to grow more and more. Anything is possible, especially now in our
for sure.
age. So you have a Dominican, Jamaican cultural. What is that shaping your music influence at all as to like your beats in it or your writing style? Are you trying to take more of that tropical like warmth within the countries into your songs? And has that, like, within your family, has it been very helpful to use your roots to put it into song?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, especially now, a lot of when it comes to beat influences and just people that I look up to, they all have like a Caribbean kind of influence to them. And I definitely hear it now being represented in my music that I make and just my style and everything like that. But yeah, it's a big part of, I feel like, my music and things like that right now.
Now, the people that you've had in contact that have been exposed to your music already, from your little tease launch party of some of your songs, how do you feel they are connecting to your music so far?
I've gotten a good response. Like, all of my friends have heard. I've definitely always send my friends over and be like, "What do you think of this song?" Or, just different things. But yeah, it's so funny to hear like everyone's like how they interpret the song, because I feel like everyone goes through whatever different experiences. So it's funny to hear everyone's different takes of like what the song means to them. So yeah, it's cool to hear, everyone's response to the new music that I'm making.
Even though you're new into the music space of recording and writing, do you feel like your style has shifted in a way, that when you first started just writing down on paper or on a computer or whatever it was, do you feel like you've started to change in the way that you use certain words in your songs?
Change how, like what?
Like style wise, as to like when you're getting a meaning out, are you using different words that you may not have thought worked in the beginning, but then as you've been moving along in that process, it's like, no, maybe I'll start to use other types of like language to express what you're trying to put out in the song?
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to the more you kind of just mean like the more I create.
But yeah, the more you write, the more you go into the studio. Do you feel like that's helping like expand your style of
for
music
sure?
in a way?
Yeah, for sure. I think like recently I've been going to different live events where people perform and people do different things. And I feel like it's opening my eyes to all different types of like artists. And it kind of helps me grow as an artist as well, because I can kind of, see just different things that I like. And I'm honestly, starting to learn my style, and it's always evolving. So yeah, for sure. I feel like it through the repetitiveness and the just seeing other people, I feel like it's definitely evolved me.
Now, as for on your website, it states that you don't want people just to hear it as a sound. You want them to trigger other senses basically in them. Why that reasoning? Why not just listen to sound? Why do you want them to experience these other feelings in a sense?
I mean, I just always want someone to feel something out of the song. I feel like the songs I enjoy is because I feel something out of the song, or I relate to the song, or, I could put this song on for this emotion and this song on for this emotion. But yeah, I always want someone to, feel whatever they feel or however they feel. But I always want someone to feel something within any of the music that I make, for sure.
Now, have you been experienced it with the people that have been exposed to your songs already? Are they connecting on it to the level that you put the song out onto it, or are they kind of taking it to their different understanding and then they're connecting to it in a different way that may be different from yours?
I feel like it depends. Like I've showed some people some of my songs, and they like explain it. I'm like, that's not exactly what I meant when I wrote it, but I'll take it. Like, because different people kind of interpret things differently. But yeah, it just really depends. Like some people we like are on the same page, or some people interpret it like everything differently.
Now, when people interpret it differently, are you taking it into your head that maybe a future song I should go on like a path that they connected to it on? Are you like trying to put out music for them to relate to more? Or do you feel like you're still going to put it out as you want to put it out and use your personal experience for those songs, rather than almost like fan work it in a sense?
I feel like even with the songs that I have now are not necessarily all of my personal experiences. It's kind of experiences that my friends have, we've talked about, or, just different things in general. So I definitely always for what people, I like absorbs everything. I'm like, that would be great for a song. So I wouldn't necessarily say that everything is from my personal experiences. Okay. I'm always open to like, whenever I hear something or get inspiration for a song, I would write the song based on that, not necessarily based on all of my experiences. As long as it like tells a story and everything comes together, whether it's someone else's experiences, as long as someone relates and I know it's people will feel and relate to it, I feel like that's kind of the vibe of what I like to write about.
Now, getting back to the positivity part as to how you make that last post on your Instagram carousel, is there a certain quote or saying that kind of motivates you every day, that gets you through possibly the negative side of writing, singing in studio, or maybe just when like something may not be going the way that you want it to go?
I would say I always said this quote even when I ran track. But I really love the quote, passion fuels purpose, because I feel like once you have passion for something, no matter like what the hardships are, you always are going to work towards your whole purpose. I feel like, without any passion to anything, you're not gonna make it anywhere, honestly. So I always took that with me, whether I ran track. Now I take that quote with me everywhere. Just anything that I'm very passionate about. I feel like the passion is what fuels the purpose. So I feel like that quote is one of my favorites.
And when you're using that passion, uh, does it give you like a sense of relief when you are in the studio and like you feel like the passion within yourself to perform in your best way? But have you felt as though when you are in that struggling moment or challenge when you're recording or something maybe off for the day, do you feel like taking a step back and going back to it, or will you try and use that to push through?
I usually would use it to push through, I would say. I would say I've had my moments where I've had doubt and all this other stuff, and there's been, hardships when it comes to trying to push my music. But I would just say you just have to see it as a full picture, and you just gotta push through, even though it's hard at the moment, but for the bigger purpose. And that's kind of how I feel about, honestly, anything. You could take that into anything you do. If you're passionate about it, and if you keep working and you're very dedicated to it, eventually you'll find your purpose. But that's how I feel about it. That's why I like that quote.
Yeah. What kind of sparked your interest in particularly recording in this type of genre that you decided to record in, which is that like smoother R&B type of style?
I think it's just the artist that I like. I don't know. Whenever, like I said, I always sung. When I did sing, I always gravitated towards R&B. I would say more of like a soulful, sometimes a little more Caribbean influenced type of music. So I knew that when I did start making my music, I knew that it was be in that kind of R&B genre. So yeah, that's kind of how I decided.
Do you feel like when you're in that, because you could have a faster paced song or you could have it at a slower pace because of the genre, do you feel like as of now you're going more on like a slower route with how your beats are being played off, or are they kind of more going in between like a faster pace or like a slower pace, like rotating throughout?
I feel like the songs that I'm gonna release first are more, I would say they're more an upbeat kind of pace, but I want to make all types of music. I want to have more slower music as well as faster music as well. I want to have music for every kind of feeling, whether it's you going out to a party and, just going out with your friends, or it's like you just want to sit in your house and just watch, listen to music. And I just want to make music for every kind of feeling. So I would say my goal is to just kind of switch in between, different things, even different genres. Like I would be willing to switch, to more, I don't know, Afrobeat styles, or, when like my Dominican side, I would switch to some like Latin themes. I wouldn't want to be stuck to one type of genre. I want to kind of experiment a little bit of everything.
And it seems like artists are doing that now, and you're seeing it more and more with these A-list celebrities within the music industry. They've started in one thing and they completely changed their side and outlook on stuff, and are completely exploring a different genre.
Yeah.
And some of them are doing an insane amount of push for it, and it's working and it's showing.
Yeah.
And they're seeing it in the end. Do you feel like that could be a challenge to how you were focused on one side and then now you're going to switch to that Afrobeat type of style?
I mean, I feel like R&B is the main thing that I would always sing. I would just have little like influences, like if it's the beat or something like that, or just anything. But it would always mainly be R&B, maybe with like Afrobeat influence, or like R&B with like a, just different genres. It wouldn't
be like a full album dedicated.
Yeah, because I feel like I have my own sound, so I feel like just in general, even if I do like an Afrobeat, or even if I do that, I feel like just how my voice is, it always kind of brings back into R&B a little bit.
Now, out of the songs that you have so far that you've been working on, is there a song that you have now that stands out the most to you? And why does it really stand out to you?
I don't know. I would say I feel like the more that I make songs, like I'm like this one's my favorite, right? This one's my favorite. I don't really think I have. I think it changes
Okay.
my favorite. I think that the more that I'm going to the studio and the more that I'm creating songs, it's getting better and better. So I think it's a good thing that every time I go to the studio, I'm like, this is my new favorite song. But I don't know if I have a favorite. I think they all kind of have their own different vibes. So it kind of switches between like my favorite.
Now, when you're going into the studio, do you feel like a lot of the times you are doing one take, or do you feel like you may have to go a couple minutes in and stop and then go back and do it over again? And are you trying it in a different way, like how you're speaking? Or is it kind of like pretty much leveled the whole way, but something was just off, maybe pitch wise?
I wouldn't say, I would say that just, I wouldn't say we do it in one take. Usually I like to have different like background vocals and just different things in regards to just like the editing and just different things in regards to the song to make it sound different.
To master it.
Yeah. But it really varies. Like sometimes we get done, like it just depends on the song and what I'm trying to record.
Okay.
In regards to how many takes or whatever I would do for the vocals.
And for like the background track, that's you're doing.
Everything
within the song is you.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of help from the engineer that I work with, Mark, because he definitely, I'm like, oh, should I do this key? Should I do this key? But we try to like blend all the vocals in together. I like to do a lot of harmonies when it comes to the songs. So yeah, we just try different things and see what sounds the best, honestly.
And now when you're exploring those different ways to have the different harmonies go through, or different vocals, or maybe you even have no beat at all and you're going a cappella completely. Are you taking different things from other artists and being like, I liked how this person did this. I could try this and see if this works?
Yeah, I would say I get a lot of influence from just different artists and just listening to music and what I like at the moment. And I really, once I started going to the studio and actually recording songs, I now listen to like everything. When I listen to songs, I listen to background vocals. I listen to, I don't listen to it as just like a big picture. I kind of like listen to it, from like an artist standpoint.
Every
to see.
Listen, you hear something else.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, wait, that background vocal, like the things that most people probably wouldn't hear, I hear. But yeah, I definitely get a bunch of influence from different artists all the time. Yeah, and it definitely, depending on what I like at the moment, influences what I write and the beats I choose and things like that.
And I know it's a big trend right now. I know a lot is happening on the street with like somebody will walk up to you with a mic and they'll be, hey, will you just freestyle onto this beat right now? If that were to happen to you, would you do that and test something?
Maybe. I'm also like very shy, so I don't know, but I'm a little more open to it now. I'm getting a little bit better with just singing like off the spot, but I feel like past Brie, no, but maybe now a little bit. I would consider it.
Okay. And it seems like you also teased on a post recently that you have a part of the song that's open for an open verse.
Yeah, I did.
And why do that? Who are you trying to get somebody specific to hear it and hop on the track with you? Or are you just trying to like explore a different way to connect with people? Yeah,
I'm just trying to do different things. I love that. The song I did, an open verse song, I love that song. I love the artist on that song. But yeah, I'm just trying to get just my voice out there more, trying to do things that are a little more out of my comfort zone. So yeah, I'm just going to try to post like different things whether it's open verses that I could do or just little snippets of my song or maybe covers and things like that. I'm just trying to get kind of myself out there more. So.
And I know within the music industry right now, TikTok, Instagram, a lot of people are going up to people and asking them questions as to who's your all-time favorite artist.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have an all-time favorite artist, or is it that varying point as to how it could change every day because of like a mood that you may be in?
I would say it varies. I think I have my just the people that I always go back to. I would say Rihanna. I love Rihanna. I think I always listen to her music. I like how she always could change kind of the genre depending, but you always know it's Rihanna no matter what song she goes on or whatever she does.
Her voice is that.
Yeah, she has her like
distinctive
sound. I love that. And I get a lot of inspiration from that. I love a lot of the R&B girls. I love R&B. I listen to her a lot. Her is one of my solid people that I always listen to. And honestly, actually was probably one of my, like the first song that I did write, it had a bunch of her in, like I listened to her all the time. So she's definitely a big inspiration of mine as well.
Now, when you're writing, are you listening to music as you write, or are you listening to the potential beat that you may be going on with it?
Probably a little bit of both, honestly. I listen usually before I write. I kind of just listen to different, songs and things like that to try to get like a feeling. And then once I kind of know exactly kind of the theme of what I want to write about, I usually save different beats and things like that. And just kind of go through them and just sit there and be like, wow, do I like this beat? Is this beat making me? And then from there, I will like make a melody.
Yeah.
And then I'll just kind of write off of that, to be honest.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's a secret that you may not want to put out yet. As of right now, you've just been singing. Are you going to be taking a track like how her does, with an instrument, how she comes out and plays the guitar? Is that something you're experiencing, trying to get into?
Yeah. I would honestly love to know how to play the guitar or the piano. That's something that I gotta learn soon. I'm trying to find someone who could teach me. But yeah, I would love to get into instruments and learning how to play the guitar and the piano. It definitely would help me write better. So yeah, I'm definitely hopefully soon
open to that.
I'm open to it. I just have to find someone who could teach me.
Yeah. Any particular like guitar that you would be going more for? Like I know her usually goes more with the electric version. Would you be doing that? Would you go acoustic as well?
I would probably start with the acoustic. But I don't know. I'm not opposed to. I'm trying. I would learn any. I'm open to
whatever's thrown in front of you.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
Okay, and really to kind of wrap everything up, what is something you would want to see in the future happen? Like what is your goal that you're really striving to every single day to get to that point?
Yeah. I honestly, like I was saying kind of before, but I kind of just want to be that person for people to be like, oh, you don't have to be stuck in what everyone else is doing, and you could try, to do what you love, and just keep trying and keep, pursuing what you love, and eventually, it will happen for you. And that's kind of the message I want, even with myself, to keep going, like just to keep trying, to keep, just so, you could do exactly what you want to do. And you, that's kind of like the message that I would even tell myself.
What, as you just said, you would tell yourself, what is, if you were able to call your younger self right now, the little girl back then who always loved music, always probably sang at any moment that you could, what would you say to her if you were able to pick up a phone and call the past?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I feel like probably the same things I'm saying now. Just, like, just do what you want to do. Don't really focus on other people. Don't overthink. Just, you're fine, Like that kind of thing. Yeah, probably something like that.
Hey, inspiration for everybody. And if you go out and you set your heart to it, you will get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And whether or not somebody's judging you or not judging you.
Yeah, that's true.
You put your fullest self out and you don't care what people think. You'll make it and you'll go far.
Yeah.
So, Bree, it was great having you on.
Thank you so much for letting me be on your podcast. Yeah. I love it.
It was great learning about this journey that you're invoking on right now.
Thank you.
And going through, and hopefully down the road you'll be back on again, and
hopefully yes.
Maybe at that point playing a guitar.
Oh yeah,
piano,
hopefully yes.
And maybe a couple albums out at that point.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, thank you again for coming on.
Thanks for having me again.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Journeys in Focus. After today's episode, I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to explore your own journey on a more deeper level. Like always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and share the podcast as well. Follow us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and much more. Until next time, adjust your focus and come along on the journey.